Hey, you listen to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we've got Josh.
Hey!
So big bumper show we got to get through. We got to get through a preview for NXT War Games, and then we still got to get through the massive bumper pay-per-view of Survivor Series. So we're just going to roll straight into NXT Takeover. We're going to ignore the dark match because that will air on an NXT later on. Jumping straight in, Cassius Ohno, Lars Sullivan. I know nothing about the match. Good start.
I'm gonna say Lars Sullivan wins the match. From what I understand, they've been working with him, building him pretty well. So, I think he'll go over the original KO.
I could see it going both ways. Obviously, Lars has been getting a lot more publicity lately, and then Ohno, they brought him back, and it would seem a little weird to bring him back and then do nothing with him. But I think this is almost just a throwaway match. I don't think it really matters which guy is going to win, so as you say, it's probably more likely to give the win to Lars, and Ohno can just take the loss. It's not going to be too much of a loss there for him. The other non-title match, Aleister Black, Velveteen Dream. Super interested in this one.
I'm gonna pick Aleister Black to win. I'm just not a fan of the Velveteen Dream gimmick.
Okay.
And Aleister Black is a cool gimmick.
I'll give you that. I think you'd put Aleister Black against 95% of the WWE, and I'd pick Aleister Black purely based on his awesome gimmick. I also think Black Hair is going to win. I don't think this is going to be the time for him to lose out. But I think the Velveteen Dream has shown before that he's a great in-ring competitor, so I think the match itself is going to be fine. I don't mind the gimmick. It's not my favorite gimmick in the world, but I'm perfectly fine with it, and especially the way it's been built. I think with other superstars, it may have been a little bit harder to build towards this match the way they have, but with having your super scary silent type go up against the extremely flamboyant dude, the build-up has been great for this with the back and forths, and the segment's pretty much Velveteen Dream trying to get Aleister Black's attention. So I think the build has been great for this, and I feel like when you look at the card, it could potentially be a sleeper match. One that on paper may not look like the best thing ever, but once you get the two in the ring and let them go, I think it might be a damn good match. Where to start? NXT Championship. We'll go up this way. Drew McIntyre, Andrade Almas. Surely we're not going to take the title off Drew already.
Cien is the guy that takes the title off of.
Really? We're already say goodbye to Champion Drew?
No, I just said that Drew would retain.
Okay. I think you cut out on my end, sorry. But eventually.
Yeah, of course, eventually. It just doesn't feel like Cien's the guy that do it.
Okay. Yeah, it sort of came out of nowhere. But I guess most of your big championship contenders are involved in the main event of this night. So I can see why this has been what's put together. I always assumed Black would be next in line, but could be a little bit further down the road. I definitely agree in that Cien isn't going to be the guy to take it at the moment, but I liked Drew, and I continue to like Drew, so him holding on to the title is a thumbs up from me. As long as he's not playing air guitar. God damn it, Drew.
Well, I got Jinder pretty far.
Good point. NXT Women's Championship, Fatal 4-Way for the vacant title. Ember Moon versus the Pirate Princess, Kairi Sane, versus Nikki Cross, versus Peyton Royce. Who's going to win, and why is it Peyton Royce?
It's going to be Kairi Sane.
God damn it. Could have just let me have this one. I lost Emma, at least let me have Peyton winning a title.
It might happen, but I think it's going to be Kairi Sane. I think it's be one for two reasons. One, to build her up, and second is to validate the Mae Young Classic.
I think the upside and the downside of having this as a fatal 4-way really allows almost anyone here to pick up the win, because they won't have to take out Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane will not have to be pinned in this. Ember Moon will not have to be pinned in this. There's always that opportunity to keep the ones you want to keep strong, but put the title on someone who may not be the one you expect. I will continuously cross my fingers for Peyton Royce. I feel like that would be a good option to go. I could see potentially, if Sanity keep their titles, having Nikki to give them a whole bunch of titles. I can see what you're saying here with Kairi Sane and give the Mae Young Classic a bit of reason to it. There's also a lot of hype behind her at the moment. And then Ember Moon sort of seems like the odd one out, where I feel like her time has passed. She had her chance, she got a little injured, and everything kept moving, and now she's a couple stations back on the train.
Yeah, it's probably for Emma or for Ember Moon. It's probably time to call her up. If you're not going to give her the title down there, then you probably should do something with her up on the main roster.
Yeah. Do you trust them at this point to do something with her on the main roster? It really comes down to a whole lot of trust with these NXT call-ups at the moment. But I guess normally it's the extravagant gimmicks that will not be handled too well. I feel like Ember Moon's enough grounded. I don't even know if she's meant to be a werewolf or not. I think she is. She's a werewolf from Texas, because that makes sense.
Well, she could be a werewolf from London.
No. I'm gonna go all behind it. I'm gonna pick Peyton here as the winner. Just cross my fingers and run through the door and hope the door opens. Or in a week, you'll see the big red bruise on my forehead as I've smashed into a door. One of the two. Main event, War Games. Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong versus Sanity versus the Undisputed Era.
This will be a fun match. It's been a long time since we've had this match. And if this works well, then perhaps we might see it on the main roster at some point.
Yeah, it seems like NXT trial runs these. We saw it with the Shark Cage, but that might have just been to annoy off Enzo. We don't know yet. But yeah, it could be a trial run. I think we'll have to wait and see, but it'll be interesting. I don't remember if I've watched this match type live. I feel like I've definitely seen video of it, but I don't know if I've ever seen it live, so I think it's going to be a bit of an experience. Somewhere WWE posted the rules. I'm trying to get those up. Here we go. All three teams will be contained inside separate shark cages by the entranceway, with a member of each team, as chosen by their team, starting the match. After 5 minutes, the remaining members from one team will be released from their shark cage and allowed to enter the match. When another 3-minute period elapses, the remaining members from a second team are released from their cage and enter the match. Following another 3-minute period, the final team's members are released from the shark cage and enter the match, and only then can a victory be attained via pinfall or submission.
It's kind of modified on the original rules, because the original rules was that a person from each team came out after each designated time frame. But I'm guessing they don't want to go too long with the match, so
yeah,
that's why they're going the mass release for each team. Usually there would be a coin flip, quote unquote, quotation marks, to determine who would get the first release. Since there's 3 teams, I kind of imagine that they'll do rock, paper, scissors. But yeah, usually the heels end up with the advantage early on in the match.
Yeah.
So I would expect the Undisputed Era to get be released first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I think no matter how the match goes and anything like that, it will be a good one. Just because of it being a War Games match, it's got that hype behind it. And in terms of picking a winner, I have no idea.
I'm going with the Undisputed Era.
That's who I'd lean towards. I feel like they got her, but I wouldn't be surprised if either of the other 2 teams took it.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and guess at who starts the match.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Roderick Strong.
Yep.
Eric Young.
Yep.
And I'll go with Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish, okay.
For the Undisputed Era.
Yeah, I'll agree on one of those. I'll take Roderick. I think they might send in Dane first for Sanity, and I might go Kyle from Undisputed. I don't think they'll send in Adam Cole. I feel like him in storyline he's going to be the sheepish leader, maybe hold back a little bit and let one of the other two go in, so it's a bit of a coin flip between those two. But I'll go the different one just to be different. What do we got? We still got a little bit of time, so we're going to start on Survivor Series, because we got a lot to get through. Cruiserweights, they got pushed to the pre-show. Sorry. Can't help it.
It's the only match not featuring a Raw versus SmackDown match.
That's the excuse, right?
Yeah, which means it's not. Which means it's on the pre-show, it can't be counted. So therefore, this is the first time since I think the Invasion that every match on the card is a match between two different entities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it might be. I don't know for sure, but it'll be an interesting one. In terms of the title, I'm going to assume Enzo's going to hold on to it for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think so.
At least until a certain potato shows up. Spuds are potatoes in America as well, right? Or is that a British thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah. It's possible. It is a shame because there was somebody who got released that could have fit in 205 Live.
Yeah. We'll talk about it now because it doesn't really fit anywhere. James Ellsworth, been released. Been an interesting year for the dude.
Yeah, he went from being squashed by Braun Strowman to beating the WWE champion.
To being on a dog leash and carted around by Carmella. To being beaten up by every single female on the SmackDown roster.
As his send-off.
Yep. It was a team-building exercise. Yeah, he could have, but I definitely felt like something had to happen. I'm pretty sure we were talking about it before, what's next for James? The answer was nothing. It always felt like he wasn't. It was a fairy tale run, right? You just go for it, and you see how long you can last. I don't think it was ever going to be a lifelong job or a lifelong contract. But yeah.
Yeah, he can definitely now though make a lot more money on the indies from this now.
Yeah, and as a wrestling school as well.
So,
they've sort of given him a bunch of money in the future. We'll go to song. And then we'll come back and we'll do the rest of Survivor Series. So the song is Raw's theme. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh, rolling straight back into Survivor Series. The Miz versus Baron Corbin. Baron kept his title, unlike somebody else, and we're going to be getting the better of the two matches we could have got.
Yeah, it's I'm glad they went the route they went. Besides the banter between Corbin and Miz has been pretty fun to watch. So I didn't want to see that wasted.
Yeah.
But we're definitely going to have to see which title they put over. I have this under the category of it's more likely to be SmackDown than Raw in the head-to-head matches. But I could definitely see the Intercontinental Champion coming out on top.
Yeah, I feel like it can go both ways. I do wonder if it's going to come down to an absolute landslide from one brand or not. I'll start up a tally here. So we got Raw and we got SmackDown, and then we got Raw and we got SmackDown, mine and yours. So this you're taking this as a pick for Corbin here, a SmackDown win.
I'm gonna take Baron Corbin.
Okay, I will take Baron as well. I feel like he's Miz can take a loss. Is more what I'm feeling here. I feel like Baron's lost a little bit of momentum, picking up a win over the Intercontinental Champion here. Do him some good. Where do we jump next? Tag teams. Raw Tag Team Champions Cesaro and Sheamus taking on SmackDown Tag Team Champions the Usos.
Put me in the column for Raw on this one.
We're on Raw. Gotcha.
I just feel that that this will be one where the Raw will take it back and from the advantage, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that they've been the Usos have been injured by the hands of American Alpha 2.0. So it will be easier for the Bar to win the match.
Yeah, just sort of sewing in an excuse almost for why the Usos are not 100% and why they're not absolutely destroying Cesaro and Sheamus. Being hampered by American Alpha 2.0. I'm sure that's not their official name.
They got reference to that by the Usos on Tuesday.
Well,
they actually said American Alpha 2.
Yeah.
But
pretty much same thing. Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss taking on freshly crowned SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, who got a very happy and sad moment with her dad after winning the championship.
Yeah, it was a nice little moment. I get the feeling that was actually not scripted.
Yeah, from the reactions, it definitely seemed like that.
Yeah, it seemed like that they brought him in without telling her.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see. This is the match we really should have gotten from the beginning with anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad we got it. I'm gonna go with SmackDown winning.
Okay.
I could easily see Alexa winning, but I think there's momentum on Charlotte's side, and Charlotte just won her title, so I don't think she can really afford to lose that much as Alexa can. The wrinkle in this is what happens after the match.
Why? What are we suggesting happens?
Could make a major impact on this match. That could make that whole thing that I just said moot point and makes Alexa the win.
I know personally I'm leaning towards Alexa. I'm going to put it up on my scorecard as an Alexa win. I'm not too convinced either going the way that I would like to go. We'll just wait and see, definitely with the potential surprise. I'm trying to confirm something here, but I can't get to it quick enough. I feel like Alexa Bliss generally just comes out on top when you don't expect her to, and always magically, so I've learned to never bet against her. So I have it up now. It's what I thought, so we'll go on to it. So it's the 5v5 Women's Traditional Survivor Series Inter-Brand Elimination match. On the Raw side, we have Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, Asuka, Sasha Banks, Bayley, going up against Team SmackDown of Becky Lynch, Carmella, Naomi, Tamina, and, as according to WWE.com, at this very moment that we are recording, TBA.
It'll probably be Nikki Bella. And if it is Nikki Bella, Team SmackDown wins.
Even against the Asuka factor?
Yeah, that's the hitch.
Obviously the obvious replacement is to just put Natalya in the match, right?
Yeah. Or a certain British lady that's been off television for 2 years.
You mean Paige, who was rumored to be coming back to SmackDown?
And rumored to have been at Raw this week. And rumored to have been at SmackDown. And probably rumored to be at Survivor Series.
Yep.
I
think it's going to put a wrinkle in the prediction of this match, depending on who that is. I don't know if it's Nikki. I've heard nothing about Nikki. I don't know if I've missed something. I haven't been paying too much attention this week. But I'd almost lean towards it being Paige.
And if it is Paige, then I could definitely see Raw picking up the win to protect Asuka. But the Nikki Bella factor could definitely change things.
Yeah.
I'll go with Raw as a conditional pick.
Unless it's Nikki Bella.
Yeah, I'll strategize Fitz.
Okay. I'll go Raw, no matter what, assuming it's Paige. Which I'd be perfectly fine with. Let's hope Paige has been able to clear her plate and come back with a nice empty mind. Interestingly, the TBA silhouette is like right behind Becky, like second in command. Interesting. What else do we have left? We have the Shield versus the New Day. Do I even have to ask who's going to win on this one?
The Shield.
Pretty much lock it in right now, right? There's no other way this is going.
Yep, and then probably in the next couple weeks we're going to see the Unicorn implosion.
No, they will never implode.
They definitely hinted of really hard in a promo on SmackDown about possibly breaking up.
Nope, never gonna happen. They're gonna be together forever.
The New Day is one of those stables that can break up and come back together at any time.
But they gotta stay together.
And I'm going to say it's going to be at Kofi's hands.
No, they're meant to just endorse Kofi, and they're meant to be behind him when he goes for his WWE Championship. They're not meant to Not meant to ruin it all.
They made a joke during their promo that the Shield have had 13 titles in their existence, but they've had 27. Although most of them, almost all of them are Kofi's.
Yeah.
Technically, I think 26 of them are.
It would be Big E's NXT Championship that isn't.
Nope. Big E's Intercontinental Championship.
Yep. Don't count NXT.
You gotta remember, he did held the IC title once.
Yep. New Day will stick together. Forever and always. Forever and always. I've realized here I'm picking a lot of Raw wins. This is gonna backfire on me. Because I think the last two... Yep, okay. Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. No special guest ref. Champ versus Champ. How many times is AJ Styles going to get suplexed before he loses? About 12?
I wanted to see him. I wanted to see the Singh brothers get launched into outer space.
That is the only disappointing part about Jinder losing his title and falling off the face of the earth, is that the Singh brothers will not be propelled into orbit.
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb that's going to break.
Okay.
And I'm picking AJ Styles to win.
You're an insane man. I'm calling the loony bin right now. They're on their way. I've already marked down a Raw win for you here. I will move that over to a Smackdown. But I still think you're insane. Maybe just maybe, Jinder comes down to try and ruin the match. He brings the Singh brothers with him. AJ takes out Jinder. Brock throws the Singh brothers into orbit, and then we go back to the match. That way we can all be happy. That and that reason only. You're insane, Brock. I'll just move on, because this one's going to be just as tough of a pick here. Team Smackdown of Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and John Cena. Some big names on there. Taking on Team Raw of Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Triple H himself, who has replaced Jason Jordan.
There are 51 world champions if you count the Universal Championship involved in this match. 50 which belong to 4 guys.
Yeah. I believe the average age of the men in this match is also quite high as well.
Yeah, the only person under 35 is Braun Strowman. He's 34.
Yeah. It's a damn interesting match with a lot of big names. The average age is 40 and a half. I can't predict this thing. This thing is... And when you include in the Kane potentially wanting to murder Braun Strowman factor, when you count in the Jason Jordan not happy at his dad and Triple H factor, when you count in the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn still wanting to screw over Shane McMahon factor, this match just has so many things going for it.
I'm going with Team SmackDown.
Okay.
And I'm going to say it's going to be because of Jason Jordan. Jason Jordan's going to cost Kurt Angle the match, and then it's going to be revealed that he's been a mole inside of Raw all this time, and that he's not actually Kurt Angle's son, and that he was placed there by Triple H, thus giving us a reason towards Triple H versus Kurt Angle.
It's such a confusing plot line that it's exactly what they're going to go with. Yeah. I can definitely see it.
And I can also see one other thing occurring, because after Team SmackDown wins, of course, Kurt Angle's going to get fired as Raw General Manager.
Sure.
So Raw will get a new General Manager named Daniel Bryan.
Okay. And then he gets in the ring and wrestles? That's what I'm hearing?
I never said that.
I heard it.
He becomes a heel and becomes a heel GM for Raw.
Okay. I was with you, and then I was no longer with you. I was right behind you. I was like, yep, this is all making sense. Yep, I can see the Jason. You lost me. You lost me with the Daniel Bryan heel GM for Raw thing.
Well, it kind of makes sense if you had seen SmackDown.
Yeah, fair enough. I think there's always a possibility. This Survivor Series is going to be such a huge pay-per-view in terms of the caliber of matches that are going to be on it. Looking at even just that 5-on-5, and if you include the 2 people on each side who may get themselves into this match as well, then you got 14 people there who are all going to be huge or already have been huge in their careers colliding in one massive match with a lot of Raw versus SmackDown implications going on at the same time, with the potential of a returning Paige, with the potential of a returning Nikki. There's so many factors in this whole pay-per-view, and if we include NXT War Games, which we already talked about, and roll that all together into one, this is going to be a damn good weekend.
Yeah.
Pretty much what I'm getting at. It's going to be a good weekend for wrestling.
It's a big 4 weekend, so yep, it'll be big.
Some would say huge. Rightio, well, that's all we got time for. It's been great talking to you.
Bye-bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WrestlingRadio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/WrestlingRadio. We'll see you next week.